In the middle of the river, a canoe floated. And with one wicked push, a stepmother tried to erase her stepdaughter's destiny. The girl's scream cut through the air, but no one heard except the woman who shoved her. The stepmother hissed, tightening her head tie, "My daughter will marry the prince, not you." But why such hatred? Why such fire in her eyes?
Hello family, welcome to African Stories That Touch. Please subscribe, like this video and share it with your loved ones. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you never miss any of our powerful stories. Now, sit back and listen carefully because this story will leave you speechless.
Many years ago, in a village called Udi, where the morning mist clung to the earth like a lover unwilling to let go, a prince was born. It was a day of great joy. Laughter of children filled the air, and the scent of fresh palm wine floated through the bamboo groves. At the height of the celebration, the royal family announced that a royal dance contest would be held on the prince's 25th birthday to choose a bride for him. And so the preparations began. Mothers groomed their daughters, sons protected their sisters, and fathers prayed their names would be remembered. At that same time, in the compound of late Chief Okoye, two young girls grew side by side. One was Neka, born of his second wife, proud, spoilt, raised to believe the world owed her everything. While Adana, the daughter of his late first wife, was gentle, with a beauty that made even the moon jealous. Though they shared the same roof, they were never the same in their mother's eyes. While Neka spent her days applying makeup and painting her nails, Adana did all the chores and cooked the meals. She was a jovial child, loved by everyone. She greeted elders with respect and helped old women carry their firewood. Her laughter drew attention like moths to a flame. Soon, whispers began to spread that she might catch the prince's eye. And this burned the stepmother like pepper in a wound. How dare a child of another woman rise above my own blood, she fumed. From that day, every kindness Adana showed only sharpened her stepmother's envy. And to make matters worse, Neka's beauty seemed dull beside Adana's. Her dance, stiff, even her smile could not compete. So when the time came for maidens to be presented at the prince's dance contest, the stepmother made her choice. Adana must vanish. One morning, as the sun painted the sky in gold, Adana's stepmother called her into the room. "Today, my child," the stepmother said with a smile too sweet to be true, "we shall fish together. The prince's festival draws near and you must learn a woman's duty." Adana's heart warmed. She longed for affection, for the smallest sign that her stepmother cared. "Yes, Mama," she said softly, on a mare that behind her envy twisted like a snake in the older woman's chest. Adana balanced the woven basket on her head, following her stepmother down the narrow footpath. They reached the canoe. The river lay wide and deep, whispering secrets only the spirits knew. Adana stepped in carefully, her wrapper brushing the wooden sides. The stepmother followed, her gold bangles jingling like mocking laughter. The canoe drifted into the middle of the river. The water was calm, too calm. Even the birds' cries sounded like warnings. "Lean closer, child," the stepmother said,
her voice dripping with false tenderness. See how the fish glitter beneath the water. Bend and watch. Adana leaned, her eyes widening at the flashes of silver below. But before she could speak, strong hands shoved her from behind. "Ah, Mama!" she screamed, arms flailing, her body arcing backward as the sky spun above her. Then splash! The water swallowed her whole. The river rippled, then stilled. Only bubbles rose. Then silence. "My daughter will marry the prince, not you." The stepmother straightened her head tie, turned the canoe back to shore, and never looked behind. Back at the compound, the stepmother sat polishing Nneka's skin with shea butter, whispering lies into her ear. "Remember, child, the prince will choose you. He must. Your stepsister is gone. The river has swallowed her, and with her every threat to your future." Nneka smiled, but deep down, her confidence trembled. Because envy blinds the heart and makes the foolish believe they already sit upon a throne.
On the day of the dance contest, the palace grounds shook with music. Drums thundered, flutes whistled, maidens twirled in colors brighter than rainbows. Each came forward, bowing, smiling, hoping for the prince's gaze. But the prince's eyes grew weary. Beauty without character was like yam without palm oil, filling yet tasteless. Meanwhile, back in the river, darkness pressed all around Adana. Cold water filled her ears, her lungs burned. She thought the end had come, but then a hand touched her cheek. Warm, familiar. Adana's eyes fluttered open. She was no longer drowning. She lay on a glowing bed of lilies beneath the water. And yet, she could breathe, as if the river itself carried air. Above her, light shimmered like moonlight on glass. "Mama?" From the shadows, a figure stepped forth, radiant. Her wrapper shimmered with beads of light. Her face glowed with otherworldly beauty. It was her late mother, smiling through sorrow. "Yes, my child," she said softly. "Do not fear. I have watched your tears. I have seen the cruelty you suffer." Adana's lips trembled. Am I dead?" The spirit shook her head gently. "No, not yet. Destiny would not allow it. Your journey has just begun." With a wave of her hand, Adana's plain wrapper shimmered, transforming into flowing fabric woven with gold and coral. Her hair glistened with beads that sang like ancestors in the night. In that moment, the village maiden became a vision, regal, radiant, irresistible. "Mama, what is this?" The spirit raised a small bottle filled with glowing liquid. She tilted it gently into Adana's hands. "Drink, my child. This potion will carry you straight to the palace, where the prince seeks his true bride. You will shine brighter than all others." Adana lifted the bottle to her lips. She swallowed, exhaled sharply. Her body surged with power. Her eyes began to glow like starlight. But then, her mother's voice deepened. "Listen well, my daughter. When you reach the palace, the drums of the king will beat 6 times.
At the sound of the sixth drum, all this will vanish. Your beauty, your gown, your crown, everything. Leave the palace before the last echo fades, or you will stand exposed. I will obey, Mama, Adana said.
The spirit touched her daughter's forehead, a glowing finger, a burst of light, and the river faded away. In the next breath, Adana was standing in the palace courtyard, dazzling like the sun itself. Her gown shimmered like sunlight woven into cloth. Her skin glowed like polished bronze, her hair crowned with whispering beads. The drummers missed a beat. Even the wind seemed to pause. "Who is she?" he whispered, his heart pounding like the drums themselves. He rose without hesitation, pushing through the crowd, eyes locked on her. Adana lowered her gaze. But when he reached her, he stretched out his hand. "Dance with me." The drums roared back to life, the flute sang, and together they moved, their steps in perfect harmony, as though the gods themselves guided their feet. The courtyard buzzed with awe, every maiden turned green with envy. Then boom! The first drum sounded, a warning hidden in the rhythm. Adana's heart skipped, but she danced on. When the music slowed, the prince led her to the royal garden. The moon bathed them in silver light. Water trickled softly beside them. "I have never seen you in this village. Tell me your name. Tell me where you come from." Adana bit her lip and stayed silent. "Why do you hide yourself from me?" He reached for her hand. "You have bewitched me, maiden. Say something, anything." But her silence was all he received. "Who is she?" Neka hissed, shoving through the crowd. "The prince never looked at anyone like that." The stepmother's voice trembled. "There is something familiar about her, but I cannot see clearly." Boom! The drum sounded again. Second, third, fourth, the night slipped away. Then came the fifth drum. Adana's heart raced. "I must go," she whispered. "No, stay with me." In the struggle, a golden bangle slipped, fell softly on the grass. Adana's eyes widened in panic. "Forgive me." She pulled away, breath trembling, and fled into the night. "Wait!" the prince shouted, clutching the fallen bangle. His chest heaved, his heart burned. "Whoever you are," he said breathlessly, "I will find you, even if I must search the ends of the earth." And as the sixth drum sounded, Adana vanished into the night, her gown fading to plain cloth, her crown gone, but her destiny forever tied to the prince who now held her secret. The prince held on to the bangle and pressed it to his heart. His eyes burned with resolve. "With this," he said quietly, "I will find her. Even if I must search the ends of the earth, she is mine." And outside, in the shadows, the stepmother's scream tore through the night. "No! That girl must not return. If she leaves, my daughter's future is in ashes." But destiny cannot be denied, only delayed. The palace did not sleep that night. The prince stood in the courtyard, the golden bangle glimmering in his palm. "Bring me the maiden who wore this," he commanded. "Scour the villages, search the riversides. I will not rest until she is found." Messengers rode out like lightning, torches blazing into the dark, and word spread like wildfire. "The prince seeks the maiden from the dance. The one whom this bangle fits shall be queen. Back in late Chief Okoye's compound, the news struck like thunder. The stepmother dropped her calabash of water, whispering, trembling, "No, no, this can't be." But her daughter Neka seized the moment. "Mother, the bangle, it must belong to me. We will claim it before she dares to appear." The stepmother's eyes narrowed. She grabbed Neka's wrists. "Then we must act swiftly. If Adana breathes, she must not see the dawn." Meanwhile, Adana hid in the hut of an old woman by the riverside, shivering under a faded wrapper. The magic her mother gave had drained away, but in her heart, the fire of destiny still burned. The old woman wept softly. "Child, your stepmother's heart is sharper than a cutlass. If she learns you live, she will strike again." Adana reached into her bag and brought out the second pair of the bangle. "But the prince saw this. He will search until he finds me." The next morning, the royal guards arrived in the village, carrying the bangle on a royal stool. Every maiden was summoned to try it on. One by one, they stepped forward. Ankles stretched, twisted, but the bangle refused them all. Then came Neka, dressed in silk, oiled from head to toe. She stepped forward. "Your search is over. I am the one the prince seeks." The people held their breath. She bent, slid her foot in. Crack! The golden bangle split in two. Murmurs spread like wind through the leaves. "The gods reject her," an elder said. The stepmother fell to her knees, clutching the broken piece, her eyes wild.
That night, the village grew silent. The river whispered secrets. Owls hooted in warning. Inside a small hut, lit by a trembling palm oil lamp, the stepmother crouched before a black pot. Neka sat in the corner, shaking.
"Mother, must we do this?"
"Do you want the prince to marry Adana?" she hissed. "Do you want to live in her shadow?" She threw red cloth into the pot, crushed kola nut, and chanted words forbidden by man. The pot hissed. Smoke coiled like a serpent. Faces seemed to form in the mist, whispering in tongues unseen. "This is the charm of disappearance," she muttered. "The next time she shows her face, the spirits will swallow her beauty and leave her a shadow." "But, mother, what if the gods are watching?" "Then let them watch," the stepmother snapped. "I will not let a dead woman's child rise above mine." Meanwhile, in the forest, Adana sat by a small fire. The calabash from her mother glowed faintly beside her. She felt the air tighten. Her heart began to race. Whisper, distant echo. Then she heard it, a drum, slow, distant. Her mother's voice followed like the wind. "Child, the wicked plot against thee, but fear not. Light cannot be hidden by darkness." The fire flared high, sparks dancing into the stars. Adana closed her eyes in prayer. Crackling sound, breathless. At that very moment, the charm in the pot shattered, smoke screamed, then vanished into thin air. Gasp, pain. Far away, the stepmother clutched her chest. "No, no! Who protects this girl?" Only the spirits knew. Destiny was already calling. The next day, as Adana fetched water from the stream, a royal procession appeared on the path. At its head, The prince himself. His eyes scanned the crowd, hungry with hope.
When he saw her, he stopped. The maiden by the river, simple yet radiant, made his heart thunder. He dismounted, boots sinking into the soft earth. Step by step he drew closer. Villagers whispered, "Is she the one? She looks too simple, but look how his eyes cannot leave her." At last, he stood before her. "I have searched every corner of this kingdom," he said softly, "and yet my heart tells me it has been waiting here, by this river." "I am no one, my prince," Adana said, "just a maiden of the forest." The prince smiled. "Then, the forest has gifted me its greatest treasure." He pulled out the broken golden bangle. "Tell me, have you seen the maiden who owns this?" The world stilled. Adana's hands trembled. Her lips parted, ready to speak. "She lies!" The people turned. And there she was, the stepmother, her eyes burning like fire, her veil whipping in the wind. Neka followed, pale and silent. "She is no maiden of honor," the stepmother shrieked. "She used charms to deceive the prince. My daughter was chosen by the gods." The prince's jaw tightened. He looked at Adana. "Is this true?" he asked softly. With her trembling breath, Adana closed her eyes. Her voice came out low but strong. "I live in the forest because you tried to kill me by pushing me into the river." The world froze. The villagers gasped. Even Neka covered her mouth, trembling. Adana stepped forward, tears glistening. "Yes, my prince, I am the maiden who danced with you, and I am the maiden who lost that bangle. I can show you proof if you want. My name is Adana, and I was betrayed by the woman who should have been my mother." "Lies! All lies!" the stepmother screamed. But then the river rippled, light shimmered, a glowing figure arose, the spirit of Adana's mother. "No lies," the spirit said. "She speaks the truth." The people fell to their knees. The prince stepped back in awe. The stepmother screamed as the light fell upon her. "Mama Neka," the spirit thundered, "your envy is darker than midnight. You schemed, you lied, and you tried to bury the child of another woman. But truth cannot drown. Evil cannot silence destiny." Adana whispered, "Mother." The prince raised the bangle high. "I need no further sign," he declared. "This bangle belongs to the true maiden, and this heart belongs to Adana." The crowd cheered in triumphant tone. "Adana, the true maiden, the queen has been revealed." The stepmother shrieked, "No, this cannot be. I will not bow to her." But the river swelled, pushing her to her knees. And the spirit's voice faded. "Let her carry her shame. As for my daughter, her crown awaits." The river calmed. Silence fell. The prince turned to the crowd. "By the gods and the spirits who have spoken," he said, "I declare Adana, the chosen bride, my queen, and the mother of generations to come." He turned to the stepmother, cold, resolute. "You will leave this land at once. Take nothing but your shame." The people shouted in agreement. The stepmother screamed, but no one helped her. Even Neka turned away, tears in her eyes. The prince lifted Adana's hand high. The drums thundered once more in celebration. Adana's eyes glistened as she looked toward the river. In the ripples, her mother's smile beamed back. The majestic crown of destiny had found its rightful head, and so began the reign of a queen, born not from envy, but from truth, courage, and the love of a mother who could not be silenced by death.
And that, my people, is how Adana became a queen. A story of truth, courage, and destiny that refused to drown. Remember this: no matter how deep envy hides, light will always rise again. Just like Adana, your destiny may be delayed, but it can never be denied. If this story touched your heart, don't just walk away. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it with someone who needs to know that truth always wins. Tell me, my family, what lesson did you learn from Adana's journey? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because every story we share carries a lesson for the soul. Until next time, keep your heart pure, your spirit strong, and remember, destiny always finds its way home.